Hello, welcome to video number 10 of our deep dive into county data. And in the last video, we created, we finalized our VLOOKUP. So now when we select any of the years for any of the states, we're going to return the values that show the population of the counties in that state in those years. So it's kind of a neat thing. See, Arizona didn't even have these counties in 1910, so it has a population of 0. So now we can do a bunch of different neat things with these data to kind of compare the counties to one another. So the first thing we want to do is count how many counties are in any state. So there's a couple ways of doing this, but we're going to only do this using the information that's on our county comparisons sheet. So let's go over to H4. This is where we're going to start with our values. Now let's go up to H3. And here just type in number of counties like that. And let's just make this the right size. So now we're going to be in I3. We're going to figure out how many counties there are. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to type in this formula that's going to tell us the answer. We're going to do this. We're going to use what's called a COUNTIF. So type in equals and then COUNTIF. So we're saying COUNTIF, and we need to basically create a condition. So COUNTIF parentheses, and then let's do this. We have to remember that we could do all of F, but the problem is we have this value here, 14, so this will mess up. We don't want to count anything that's in F4. So we want to start with F7 and then all the way down. So what I like to do is just click on all of F and then make it start with F7. So I clicked all of F by clicking on the F, and I'm just going to go right after the first F and just type in the number 7. So now I'm going to count if anything between F7 all the way down to the end of the sheet, and then I can click in comma. So I'm saying where am I looking, and now I just want to say what am I looking for. So I'm going to type in a quote, the greater than sign, a 0, another quote. So basically anything greater than 0, show me that. And then another parentheses, and then enter. And this gives me this value here of 13. And now you might say, well, there's 15 counties, so why does it return 13? That's because there were only 13 counties in 1910, because Greenlee and La Paz County didn't exist back then. If I do it for more recent, 2020, then it shows 15 counties, because that's how many counties had people in them. So you could assume that a county that didn't have people in them would not have existed at any given time. So that's how many counties that I have. Now let's figure out what the maximum population is in any of the counties. And actually we'll do this. We'll make some conditions here. So we'll say highest, and then lowest, and then average. We'll get the average county population. And then we'll add on to that, let's say, number greater than average, number less than average. So we basically want to see how many counties are greater than the average population and how many are less than the average population of each different county. So to figure out the highest one, let's go ahead and click on I4, and then we'll type in this formula. This is a pretty basic formula. So in I4, we're going to type in equals max, and then I'm not even going to select the range here. I'm just going to type it in. So I did equals max parentheses F7 colon F, because I know that I'm looking for all of F because I might select different states, and then close the parentheses and hit enter, and then that's my highest. So we could do our lowest by typing in equals min parentheses F7 colon 7, and that's my smallest. And it's making these selection things. We don't want what it's telling us to do, but we do want to find out what the average is. So I will just do equals average, and then F7 colon F. There we go. And this will be my average. And I really kind of want this without the decimals. So I'm going to go up to my formula here, and right between the equals and the A for average, I'm going to type in the word round, R-O-U-N-D, and then make a parentheses. Then I'm going to go to the back of the formula after that last parentheses, and I'm going to type in a comma, 0, and then a closing parentheses, and that makes this just a round number. But now I just realized that we have a problem because this is the average of all of these numbers. But if I were to go back to our 1910 lookup, and now we have these zeros, I'm averaging in the zeros, but it really doesn't make sense to average things that didn't exist because these two counties didn't even exist at the time. So what I really should do is not include these zeros. But when I use average, that does include the zeros. So a more accurate way to do this would be instead to take the sum of all of the population, so the total population, and divide that by the number of counties, because that returns the average, which is exactly what I would get, for example, if I did 2020, I'd get that anyways. But if I have 20 or 1910, I need to actually do that manually. So instead of doing this formula here, equals round average and all of this, I'm going to actually replace some stuff that's inside this round parentheses. So I'm going to essentially delete, you know what, let's just delete the whole thing. We'll start from scratch. So we're going to do this, equals, and we're going to get the sum, equals SUM, sum, parentheses, F7, colon, F. So that's the sum of everything in F, and then close that parentheses, and then let's do the forward slash, which is below the question mark, for division, over, and then I can just click right here, over I3, and then close that out. No, I don't need to close that out. That is what it is. And then, so there we go. That is my average right there. But somehow this is rounded already, but that's odd because it wouldn't otherwise be rounded. So we do need to add the round back in. So let's go and right between the equals and the S for sum and type in the word round, and then a parentheses, and then after everything, comma, 0, and another parentheses. So now I have the actual average based on the number of counties that there are. So now with this information, I can go ahead and name which counties these are. I want to figure out what county was the highest and what county was the lowest. So I'm going to go ahead and click on J4, and we're going to type in this formula. Equals, and this is a different lookup, X lookup, equals X lookup, and then parentheses, and then we're going to type in I4, so we're looking for I4, comma, and then here we're going to say, where are we looking, what column, and then what column are we looking for our return answer in. So we're looking for 34,591 in F. So I'm going to do $F, colon, $F, that's that absolute reference like we had done earlier, comma, and now where am I looking for my answer in? So that will be $E, colon, $E, and then comma, and then if there's nothing there, we're just going to do the double quotes, which means if you don't find anything, just give me nothing, and then we'll close out the parentheses and click enter. So I get Cochise. Cochise County was, I guess, barely the highest populated county in Arizona in 1910. So if I do Control-C and Control-V, I can get Apache County for having the lowest population. But now I look at my stuff here and I see that can't be right because Apache had 9,100 people, Coconino had 8,100, that's lower, Graham had 4,749, and now that I think about it, it would probably be factoring in these as well. So I must have done something wrong with my formula for lowest. So let's click on I5. Oh yes, somehow I have equals min F7 colon 7. It should say F7 colon F. So let's go ahead and do that change, and now we have 0. But then that gives us another problem because this 0 here is a county that didn't exist, so I should not be counting the counties that don't exist or didn't exist. I really should be returning 3,773. That's the lowest that actually has people in it. So we need to change this equals min formula to equals min if formula. So let's do that really quick, and then we'll almost be done with this video. All right, so what we need to do is change this min equals min to equals min's if, which is a weird name. So let's just do this. After the n in min, just type in an s and then equals min's if. No. There we go. Equals min ifs. So M-I-N-I-F-S is what we want to have. So equals min ifs. We're basically saying there's multiple criteria to figure out the minimum of these things. So we're still going to look in F7 to F. But now we need to, after the F7 colon F, now let's add a comma. And then we're going to basically say the condition. So we're going to say first where, and that is again F7 colon F, comma, and now the condition. So quote, greater than sign 0, quote. So basically we're saying the minimum if, and we're going to look in F7 to F to find the minimum, but also in that same column, whatever number is greater than 0. Give me that minimum, and if I click enter, there we go. I get 3773, and then I return Mojave, which is the correct county name right there. There's Mojave 3773. So good. And the average, of course, is like the average, so there's no county name for that. If I were to select different places, then I get different numbers based on all of this right here. So now I just need to figure out the number of counties greater than the average and the number of counties that are less than the average. And so I just need to do what's called a count if question. So let's just go ahead and click onto I7, type in equals, and then count if, C-O-U-N-T-I-F, and then a parentheses. And then we're going to, of course, say where are we going to count in, and that's going to be F7 colon F. So we're looking in F7 colon F, comma, and now we need to do what's called a concatenation because we want to say that's greater than the average. The average is a number in I6. So a concatenation is basically taking two different things and putting them together so that then the computer can understand what we're talking about. So first we need to do a quote, and we need to type in just the greater than sign, and then another quote. So we're basically adding this greater than sign in, and then click on we'll add in the and sign, which is Shift 7. So we're saying F7 colon F, comma, then quote greater than, and then quote and then just go ahead and you can click on I6 like that. And then let's do this before we even click enter. Let's go ahead and add a $sign right by the 6. So that way we make sure that we keep this. And there's a reason why we're going to do this. So we add this $sign there. So $6. That way we just stay on I6. Now we can do the closing parentheses and we have a 2. There are 2 counties that are greater than the average of 129,000. So because I added this $sign, I can just now Control C and Control V so that I get the formula into I8. Now to fix this formula, all I have to do is go up where I have this greater than sign and change that to a less than sign. That's all I need to change and click enter, and then I have 12. So 12 counties are less than average, 2 counties are greater than average. And the final thing I want to do is create a little pie chart that's going to display these values here. So let's just highlight all of H7 to I8, just these 4 little columns here. This is a little range. And then go all the way up on your toolbar here where it says Insert Chart. And yeah, it probably is going to actually insert a pie chart because it's the most likely chart to have. And let's just kind of size that so it fits nicely right here. And you can go ahead if you want to, and you can make these maybe bold and a little bit bigger. Maybe not a little bit bigger. Let's just go with the default auto. That's fine. And let's do the same thing here for the percentages. If I can now, we'll leave it like it is. All right. So this is all we needed right now. So if you got this done and you've got this chart just like this for Arizona for 1970, then you are in good shape for this video. All right. Good job.